The red carpet is rolled out as New York's literati gather for the first Smart Cookie Magazine Awards, the ceremony dedicated to mothers who make a difference. Ethiopian supermodel Liya Kebede may be used to posing for the cameras, but it's her humanitarian work that's in the spotlight tonight.
Well, what's amazing about Liya Kebede is she started her own foundation, which is incredible, and part of it is that she, because of where she comes from, she has sort of first-hand experience that she knows what it's like to grow up in a developing country.
Kebede is collecting an award for promoting a cause that's particularly close to her heart.
She is a beautiful person outside and inside, but fortunately for us, she's not content to just be that.
As an Ethiopian and a mom, I couldn't help but be involved with the issues of maternal and child health.
But balancing the demands of a high-profile career with motherhood and activism is no easy task.
Well, I think every mom is handling a full schedule. To give yourself fully to your children, to give yourself fully to your life, is handling a full schedule.
And sometimes you feel like, my God, I just did this, which is wonderful. But then you don't even have time to be happy about it because there's so much that has to be done.
Liya Kebede left behind life in Addis Ababa to pursue her career in the fashion capital of New York City.
I think there's this feeling of no matter where you're from, you can always be a New Yorker.
Today, Kebede is modeling for Swedish clothing company H&M.
Really, music is so important in shoots because it sort of determines the speed, the feeling, the energy of the room and everything. So.
Next on Kebede's schedule is a shoot for fashion magazine Marie Claire, photographed by fellow supermodel Helena Christensen.
You get exposed to artists that are incredible, the photographers, the stylists, the designers. I mean, it's incredible to be among those people and be part of that creative process. There's really no guarantee as to who makes it as a model and who does it. It's really hard to say, who has what it takes. Just physically even, I still don't know who's going to make it and who's not. It's a very personal thing and it depends on the photographer at the time and if he likes you. And sometimes even I see myself on photos and go, wow.
Kebede wasn't always heralded as the beauty she is today. Growing up in Ethiopia, a lack of curves tended to attract more concern than admiration.
I was really thin and people used to make fun of me that I was so thin. They never thought it was an advantage, and I never thought it was. I used to hate it. I did whatever it took to gain weight, but it was just the way I was.
It wasn't until later in life that Kebede realized her slender form was suited to modeling.
I think when I was little, I thought of being an actress. I thought of probably being a teacher at some point or something. Like really, everything under the sun. I think modeling sort of happened later. I dreamt of it, but I don't know if I believed 100% that I would have this as a career.
The story of Kebede's rise to CoverGirl fame truly began when Gucci creative director Tom Ford handpicked the budding model for his fall-winter 2000 show.
The first thing I noticed when I saw Liya was, she is really, for me, perhaps one of, if not the, most breathtakingly beautiful women in the world. Genetically, she has her parents to thank for that. But she also has a great personality, spirit, soul. That comes through, believe it or not, even in a picture. It comes through, well, for some people, Liya can project that. So for Liya, it comes through on the runway, it comes through in a photograph. It's a pleasure to work with her.
And that's really what launched me off into the fashion industry. So the funny story behind it is that I was actually pregnant and sick as a dog. And I didn't know how I was going to go through this whole fashion show. And then it happened and I was fine, I didn't get sick. And my husband was so shocked that I didn't, throw up once or twice. And then after the show was over and I went back to the hotel, I threw up all night, and that was the end of that story.
Ford had spotted something unique in her look, and very quickly everyone wanted a piece of Liya.
I can't take credit for Liya's career. You know, Liya has given herself her career. If I hadn't been the first person to use her, someone else would have used her because it was Liya, so I can't take credit for that. It's Liya that has made her career.
In 2003, Kebede was named the newest face of Estée Lauder Cosmetics, making her the first black woman to represent the company in its 60-year history.
She's a perfect match to me. Estée Lauder is an incredibly elegant brand, and she is, they don't come more elegant and beautiful than Liya. And what it really means is, in addition to being photographed for the brand, she's an ambassador for the brand.
Fame through modeling has opened other doors to Kebede. In 2006, Robert De Niro cast the young model in his movie The Good Shepherd.
I mean, The Good Shepherd for me was it wasn't my first film, but for me it was, I mean, the most amazing experience ever. I mean, I had a really small role in it, but for me it was huge. So it was a nice first little thing for me, in a way.
Liya has a fantastic openness, and I think a willingness to learn. There is that, you know, she comes from a world where she's comfortable in front of one type of camera, but it's a completely different deal when they're looking at not static emotions but continuous emotions. She has a fantastic intensity. It's that same intensity that you see in a lot of her modelling photographs. She has these piercing eyes and a capacity to go straight through you, and I was always entirely engaged.
In spite of a busy schedule, Kebede remains at heart a family woman. She met her husband Cassie 8 years ago, and the two were married within months.
It was very quick. The whole thing happened very quickly. It was love at first sight, and we sort of were inseparable ever since, and we still are together. It's been, what, 8 years, 2 kids.
She's a great mother, and she is not someone who was out at nightclubs every night partying, which is fine for some girls, but she really has her head on her shoulders, and a terrific person.
For Kebede, it is her role as a mother that provides a framework for everything else.
Suddenly you have children, and it's not about you only anymore, it's about your children, and then it becomes more about everybody else's children, because if your child is not suffering, why should the others suffer, especially if there's something you can do about it.
In part 2, we see how motherhood has shaped Kebede's perspective, driving a desire to help others.